Hi, everyone. Welcome to week 16, our last week of Comp 1. This week, you're going to finish and submit your remix and your rhetorical reflection, and then you are more or less done. Your first task this week is to complete the remix. As you continue your work, be sure to acknowledge any material you use in your remix that wasn't created by you. This includes video clips, audio clips, and images. So basically, anything that you didn't make yourself needs to be cited in some way. It doesn't have to be an MLA citation unless that is appropriate for the type of project that you're creating, but you do need to provide some sort of reference for anything that is not yours. You don't necessarily need a works cited page, but you can make one if you would like. It really just depends on the type of project that you're making. If you're making a video or a slideshow, you can just make a references list at the end of the document. Again, doesn't have to be an MLA format. We just need to make sure that we're giving credit where credit is due. Um, let's see. Oh, one exception here. If you use preloaded material available in an online program or app, for instance, preloaded images available in PictoChart, you don't have to credit that material. But if you use other items beyond the preloaded material, you should give credit to those. That is an important exception to make. If you have any questions for me or if you're confused at all about how to cite your sources, just send me an email. I know that some people have been a little bit unsure about how to handle this aspect of the project. Task 16.2 is completing your rhetorical reflection. Make sure that your reflection is 1,000 words, give or take. If you're, a little bit under 1,000 words, I won't take off any points, but you do want to make sure that you're pretty close to 1,000 words. I've told some people this when I have conferenced with them. Your reflection doesn't need to read exactly like a traditional essay. So, for instance, if you don't have like an intro or a conclusion, that's not really a big deal. That isn't required. You also don't have to have a thesis statement. You can just jump right into answering some of these questions. Conversely, if you would like to have an intro, a conclusion, and a thesis, you certainly can, but it's not required. The important thing is that you're responding thoughtfully and thoroughly to these prompts. You also don't have to answer every single question. For some people, you may need to answer more questions than others, but I also know some people are perfectly capable of writing 1,000 words in response to just maybe 3 or 4 questions. When you are writing your reflection, make sure that you are pretty thoroughly covering your rhetorical situation. In other words, your audience, purpose, genre, stance, and medium/design. So if you write your rhetorical reflection, but you don't mention anything about your audience, that's going to be a shortcoming of your reflection. If you write 1,000 words about your reflection, but you don't talk at all about the genre that you chose, that is probably going to lose you some points. So try to make sure that you talk at least a little bit about your audience, purpose, genre, stance, and medium/design. Those 5 things. A few other things to keep in mind here. The rhetorical reflection is a place where you'll give your readers, which are going to be me and your classmates, the context for your remix. So tell us why you wanted to create it, how it connects to other things you've written and researched for this class, how it connects to your own experiences and interests. You're not only just answering these prompts, you're also giving your readers a sense of what is your remix? Why did you choose, the genre that you did? Why did you decide to pursue the topic that you did? Think about how you might want to structure your reflection. Do you want to use a chronological organization following the step-by-step completion of your project? Do you want to discuss each point of your rhetorical situation? Something else? Up to you. And think about the format, media, and design. There are a lot of possibilities here, as the assignment prompt suggests. If you want to run anything by me with your rhetorical reflection, that is perfectly fine. Just let me know, and I'll get back to you on that as soon as I can. Task 16.3 is posting to the Week 16 discussion board. Please make note of this. Your discussion board post is due, your first one is due on Tuesday, which is not typical. So don't overlook that Tuesday post. For Tuesday, I'd like you to post as much of your remix and your rhetorical reflection as you can. And list any specific questions that you have for your peers as well, anything that you'd like feedback on. The more that you can post of your remix and your reflection, the better feedback you will likely receive from your peers. But I also understand that you may not be done completely with your remix and reflection by Tuesday. Your second post is due on Wednesday. For your Wednesday post, I'd like you to read and respond to one of your peers' drafts. Be sure to review both the remix as well as the rhetorical reflection. Once you review their work, give them some feedback based on the questions that they provided you, as well as these prompts here. While reading through the reflective piece, can you clearly see connections between the author's work earlier this semester and the project they're creating for Writing Project 4? If yes, give examples of those connections. If not, explain what information you need to make those connections more obvious to you as a reader. Next, consider the organization of the reflective piece. Does the overall arrangement of ideas make sense? Are there any paragraphs that could be moved to improve clarity? And within the paragraphs, are there ideas that should be reordered or reorganized? For the third prompt, does the author clearly discuss in the reflective piece how/why they made the rhetorical choices that they did? And finally, review the remix and write down the message you take from it in one sentence. Explain whether the message you take from the piece matches what the author intended based on their rhetorical reflection. If there's a disconnect between what the remix seems to be doing and what the writer said they wanted to do, offer some advice about how they can make their reflection and the remix work together a little bit better. Task 16.4 is just to revise your work based on your classmates' feedback. Finalize your remix, finalize your reflection, make sure that they are, as good as they can be. And then lastly, you will submit both parts 1, the remix, and part 2, the rhetorical reflection. The remix can basically be submitted any way that works, because I know people are doing all sorts of different things. So if you need to submit, a picture, a PDF, a Word doc, if you need to submit a link to a video or to the project, anything is fine as long as I can access it. You'll want to be careful about some of the online resources that you might have used. So if you used a website to create your project, be extra certain that I can access the document or the project if you just give me a link. Sometimes people will submit a link to their project and the link doesn't work for whatever reason. So as best as you can, test out the link, maybe send it to a friend or a family member and see if they can access it. What we want to avoid is me during finals week, when we're all very busy, having to try to track you down and let you know that your project wasn't submitted properly. So double check everything before you submit it. That is it for this week. If you have any questions or concerns, let me know. Otherwise, have a good week and best of luck on your other projects and finals.